Hi. 안녕하세요.
When you see it from the outside, it's glamorous, it's fun. It's bright, it's flashy, great music and choreography and fashion and all those things. Especially when I had started, it was so new to me. So it absolutely externally, it was great. I think internally, I was just very tired and just stressed. Some people can think of it as, oh, like you're a product, but to me, I'm a person.
This is the wildest thing I've seen. That's so cool.
Eric Nam's currently touring the world as an independent artist, a rarity in the world of K-pop.
How are you feeling about this New York show and this venue?
I've heard incredible things, so I'm very excited.
And look at this stage.
That is crazy. That is beautiful.
That is so beautiful. Is this one of the coolest venues you've had?
This is absolutely one of the coolest venues I think I've ever done.
He was born and raised in Atlanta, but then spent a decade in Korea as one of entertainment's most recognizable stars. He was named one of GQ Korea's Men of the Year, was featured on Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia, and was one of YouTube Music's global trending artists on the rise. It was a dream come true for Eric, but the pressure he was under made things complicated.
How was your mental health when you were in the K-pop world and when making the decision to leave it?
In a 10-year span, there's a clear roller coaster of emotions. And I had definitely some struggles, particularly with anxiety, maybe some forms of depression. And I think part of it was not having a full grasp on the language.
너무나 고민이 돼요.
I didn't really know how to express or talk about the difficulties that I was going through.
이거 공연에 플러스가 확실히.
And when I had the courage to say, hey, I think I really need help, I really want to talk to a therapist or someone, the first response was like, oh, like you shouldn't, because if somebody gets wind, that's going to really hurt your career. And that's like a big risk that we shouldn't take. But I was pretty persistent. It was this period where it got really, really bad for me personally. And I was like, I need to slow down. I need to drop some things and figure things out.
What was the decision like to leave a record label?
It was scary. It was daunting, but also very gratifying and freeing in many ways. I think it's scary in the sense that, you know, you don't have a label to fund and back and take care of everything for you. And to know that it's on you now to do everything, essentially.
And why did you make that decision? What pushed you to go independent?
To be completely honest, if there was an opportunity for me to sign with like a major US label at the time, I think I would have taken it. But at the time, that opportunity did not present itself. A lot of people love to ask, why did you move to Korea to pursue a music career? It's like, who do you see that looks like me that is creating music in the pop world? You know, and I'm not talking about K-pop.
Becoming an indie artist means Eric gets to focus on what he loves, writing songs and making music. He recently released his second album under his own label, and this record asks the big questions Eric himself has grappled with.
I started writing this album last year when I was still on tour. And externally, you have 60 shows or something, and you have this great album, and you're doing all these different things. Internally, I was like, okay, but like, what am I doing this for? And it put me down this spiral of asking myself all these questions of like, why are we all doing what we're doing?
Got your merch, got your things. News dancers, let's roll. News dancers, families, let's go.
And that was the theme, essentially, of the first single we put out, which was called House on a Hill. So asking ourselves, like, what if we are already happy and we just don't know it? What if we don't know how grateful we should be? Or when is having more and more and more ever enough?
1, 2, 3, Big Apple! Let's go!
Maybe you can complete it for me. I know the grass is green.
But I wish it was greener. Yeah, the sky is blue, but I wish it was a little bluer today, you know?
Right.
It's all that stuff. I have found that the focus should be on enjoying the process or enjoying the people that we have around us instead of looking for all these other external validations that perhaps we don't necessarily need.
Anxiety, I guess it does kind of have a sound. It's like this overwhelming, constant fog.
New Zealand singer Benee was diagnosed with OCD last year.
One of my main OCD things is counting. I will always count in like threes. I'll be like, okay, if I don't count to 3 right now, the plane's gonna crash and I'm gonna die. Yeah, it's kind of almost like superstitious, but you know, it's all just anxiety. You know, when you think, damn, you can listen to a song and it can make you feel, it can help you.
Earlier this summer, Benee dropped her song Bagels, a dreamy track designed to ease anxiety, backed by actual science.
I've never worked with a scientist before on any of my songs. And with my melodies, just keeping them like, kind of like ethereal and keep it dreamy.
The scientists advised Benee to keep the song in C major, what they described as the most relaxing key, to keep the beats per minute slow and steady. The song also incorporates binaural beats, certain frequencies that can tell your brain to focus, calm down, or even fall asleep.
This is the bit that actually always I feel kind of catches me and slows me down. Because when you just follow something with your eyes, it actually soothes you without even realizing.
Neuroscientists at the University of Auckland actually tested the song out in a lab, scanning the brains of 30 people while they listened to different tracks. They found Benee's song reduced brain activity more than any of the other songs.
I sometimes play it when I'm really stressed, honestly, and I'm like, I think it does work.
I have had anxiety my whole life. For as long as I can remember, I threw up almost every day before middle school because that was when I was really in the height of that kind of general state of anxiety. It sounds like in some ways the way that my anxiety manifests is actually kind of the opposite of Benee's. One of those being things that move in a repetitive motion. For example, like a merry-go-round or a Ferris wheel. There's something about the constant spinning, the constant swinging that I think, after talking with a lot of doctors, has to do with a lack of control. So this is a constant struggle. It has been for my whole life, and I've accepted that it will be for my whole life. But I am always looking for things that can help.
Wow.
Brian and Travis are the co-founders of SoundMind, an app that provides easily accessible, AI-generated binaural beats designed to alleviate symptoms of anxiety and depression. Both in their early 20s, the duo hopes their app can be used as a tool to help people with their mental health.
We are seeing students use our app before a test, after a test, before they go to school because of all the anxiety that they have.
Binaural beats are extremely therapeutic, they're extremely calming. There's different frequencies, there's different beats, there's alpha waves, gamma waves, beta waves, and these are different instances of folks who want relaxation, who want concentration before work.
To test out how effective these binaural beats are, the guys brought a portable EEG machine, which Brian is licensed to operate. The plan? To track my brain activity. The first scan is a control sample, no stimulus, just a baseline of what my brain looks like when relaxed. Next, some alpha wave binaural beats, which are supposed to calm and improve your mood.
So you can take them out.
I feel great.
Feel
Are
zen.
y'all hypnotizing me?
So you're gonna watch the red little dot here.
What's that? Okay. What's happening?
So you're currently going through a stress test. You're so focused on the red dot. So when you're not even thinking about it, it elicits that trigger response in your brain and it stresses you out.
For the last scan, more binaural beats paired with a relaxing visual to pull me back from my anxious state.
What a cute little blob.
A few weeks later, a doctor validated my results, confirming the alpha wave binaural beats had in fact calmed my anxious brain. Relief I could probably use more of in my day-to-day life.
Now,
Wait, so this is my brain with
No, with no-
stressor
nothing.
or calmer, just me.
Welcome to Savannah Sauer's brain.
Well, I always
Alright,
say to my
show me-
husband, I wish you could understand what it's like in my head.
At this music festival in Denver, some artists use AI. Other performers are attending workshops on how they could use AI in their work.
because I believe in what we're doing so much, which is creating access for people to get to creativity.
Think about how much more vibrant the Denver scene even could be if every person who is sitting at home with a song idea in their head had a tool that could start it for them so that they could show their friend the guitarist.
Acoustic guitars, I'll do a little lo-fi vibe.
But not everyone is convinced.
My biggest fear would be like turning on the radio and having every song that plays be ChatGPT.
With the wave of artificial intelligence and generative AI technology, the process of creating and learning music is changing.
I really feel like nobody should feel stopped from following their dreams because they don't know how to like use a software that costs like $400 or more. And so AI is a way to start influencing that in a different direction, then I'm pretty open to it.
Genevieve's dad taught her how to play guitar. She studied music in college and says songwriting became her way to process.
I've struggled with OCD for the majority of my life. My outlet for synthesizing those emotions that I was dealing with around that was music and songwriting.
Accessibility to music education is a real problem. Stats from the Arts Education Data Project show that as of 2019, 8% of all students had no access to music education during the school day. That's over 3.6 million students in U.S. public schools. The AI classes at the festival were hosted by a platform called Benee. They say they're trying to fill that education gap.
I always tell people that, Benee forms a path to creativity.
What is Benee?
Benee is a generative music platform that allows you to build songs from different styles. It generates you almost a song base that you can then arrange, edit, change instruments, and customize any way you really want. Okay, you don't need to purchase fancy gear, you don't have to have music lessons. There's a lot of things that you need to do to be able to make music, and Benee's goal is just to allow anyone who wants to experiment with being creative to come on our site and easily try it out. Back to Benee.
Benee says over 2 million people have created nearly 20 million songs on its platform. Benee takes 20% of the profits for any songs distributed using their software. Any tracks created within the platform legally become the sole property of Benee. And Benee isn't alone. Other AI companies like SoundDraw, Musicfy, and Ava are also offering artificial intelligence music education and production tools. So how easy is it to use? We tried it out for ourselves.
So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna pick a style.
Let's go for lo-fi.
Okay, great choice. So what it's done is it's generated some instrument groups, it's generated some mixing effects with a light rain, and now you listen and decide if you like it.
I see a question mark here too.
Yeah, so this explains to you exactly what that instrument does. There's lots of little highlighted spots where even if you don't know what a drum kit is, we made a fun little graphic here.
Oh, that's cool.
And now we're gonna add custom vocals.
Reporting from Denver, Colorado, this is Maya Eaglin with NBC News.
And so now it's putting all of those together.
That's fun.
It is really fun. So I could copy this all the way to the end and just make this the thing and then do my own custom vocals, play my own instrument on top of it. And
even though she's a skeptic, Genevieve attended the AI music class to learn more.
Could you see yourself ever using Benee or another AI software for your music?
I do not. I like the process that I have because it's very me and it's coming from a very emotional place. I do hear the valid argument of accessibility as well. I think accessibility at this point should come from funding the arts in school. I think it needs to come from valuing human art first.
If it gets tight, what do we cut?
How have you used AI in music?
I've used ChatGPT just to ask what are synonyms for mind? Or what rhymes with this?
Even just showing Michael, oh hey, here's this thing I was thinking about. Mostly listen to it for the melody, but here's some chord ideas in the background. And then he's like, oh, I could do that better. Watch. And then we are now writing a song.
Yeah,
so it's always the jump off point.
What influence do you think AI software tools like Benee will have on music education for people who want to learn about music?
I feel like artists and humans will always still be at the center of art, no matter how it gets created or no matter what method you're using. And through this new AI era, like really lifts up the human aspect of it and lifts up artists. It's a chance for us to kind of like turn over a new leaf, I think, in the music industry.
Tell me you'll keep me around.
This is a bagel.
Beautiful night, what a beautiful crowd. I'm so excited to be here at this incredible venue, this incredible city, and shall we get to it? Thank you.